once again. So let's consider this more like version 1.1, of the same segment. Network probably had the best of us, but we're back into more serious business of the day. So we are going to answer a very important question, and this question is a question that is distributed all across the crypto investment community. And what is that question? What is that question? What is that question? Altcoins are Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is pumping. But why aren't altcoin pumping? You know, Bitcoin is pumping, but why aren't altcoin pumping? Uh, I think it's very important because I still see some members of our community still having this kind of a conversation, and I'm like, I think we've been able to address this a couple of times, on market watch and also some private training. But then I just think it's important this becomes a public information, and so we've decided to answer this. So consider this more like an analysis session. Consider this also a training, because at the end of the day, I'm going to train you how to use certain tools, to achieve your investment goals and also strategically position in the marketplace. I'm going to show you how it is done, and you could also reciprocate the same result also for yourself. So let me give you more like a rundown on what you're going to gain at the end of this session you're going to have with me. Meanwhile, let me see how we could bring more persons right here to come join us live. This is a live conversation. Let's have more persons in our community right here with us. We need more persons in the community right here with us. So feel free also. People that members of the community, tell them we are live. Tell them we are live. Tell them we're live. So, what is going to be the outcome of this meeting? I thought the network is better now. What is going on? So, regardless. So let's see. I think we're having some persons join us. We're having some persons join us. I think some persons are joining us. So you're welcome. Please, if you're joining us, feel free say hello on the comment section. So hello on the comment section. Use the comment section to say hello. Let me know you are here. Yeah, say hi if you're in the comment section. If you're here with me, say hi. Say hi. I could see some persons right here. Please go to the comment and say hi. Let me know you're right here with me. Oh, Mr. Emeka, you're welcome. I see you. Network had the best of us, and even right now, but I want to. Okay, Christoph is asking some questions about XRP. For this purpose, I'm going to do a little bit of some kind of comparative analysis using XRP for you. I have a little issue with network loading my my slide. I just hope we'll be done with this and move into some other more interesting part. Network. Somebody will say Nigeria happened to me if you ask me. But then, if you permit me, I don't mind. I go ahead and go through to the session even without a slide. But then, if you could see my slide, let me know. Can you see my slide? Can anybody see my slide? Yeah. Hello, Christoph. Hello, Mr. Emeka. Hello, Mr. Anthony. Hello, Miss Peace. Let me know if you could see my slide. So should we do this without a slide? Should we do this without a slide? I'm asking a question. Oh, Christoph says no. Okay, so let's wait. Let's wait, and we hope things get better. Just somebody say just outside slide. Okay, outside slide. Yes, but I think the slide can load now. I think our slide can load now. So let me dive into the business of the day since things are better. Do well to listen to me. Do well to listen to me. At the end of today's session, we are not just going to answer your questions. We are going to look at data, and I'm going to show you how you could use this data and in some market analysis tools. I'll show you some market analysis tools and how you could use them at the same time. So yes, you could consider this an analysis. You could also consider this more like what will be the outcome? What will be the outcome? What will you learn at the end of today's session? One, you're going to understand why Bitcoin keeps pumping. Bitcoin keeps pumping, but then so the next thing we're going to look at is why many altcoins are still quiet and the old market rules that are changing. The market has changed, and there are some of you who maybe have experienced only one bull market and you're stuck with an old narrative and you don't understand that the market narrative has changed. It is the investor that evolve alongside with the market that does not just protect his capital but also make profits. So we're going to look also at the market rules, and also we'll find out, will altcoin pump? Will there? If there will, when? Then how? And of course, then we're also going to look at how to spot the right time for altcoins to rally and why this time feels different. And of course, we'll look at some proven portfolio strategies we use at the Smart Investors Lodge, and also look at how to make informed, smart investment decision. And we're going to have more like a community EMA, more like questions also and answers. So for those of us, feel free, put together your questions. Why the training is going on. If you have, you'll be able to ask those your questions, and I'll be able to do justice to it. I promise you, you're going to gain value if you invest your time watching to the end of this video and you don't get the value. Let me know. I'm going to return to you whatsoever data it cost you, to come to today's live webinar and training. It promises to be value. It promises value. And so diving also to the very important question. So Bitcoin, they run mad, but your altcoin they sleep. What's going on? Bitcoin they run mad, but your altcoin they sleep. So don't worry. I'm going to break down what's happening and, of course, what this means for altcoin and also how to position smartly. The fact that it's your view that Bitcoin is pumping and also, but altcoins are not pumping. I will let you know what this means. This means something. At the same time, you're going to learn how to position smartly at the end of the day. Strategy, timing is a very, very important factor when it comes to the market. But then, more like community views, community sentiments, and questions. So I was able to highlight this particular person's question. And the reason I highlight it is because it has some very, very fundamental, discussion, I will want to address, because I think not everybody right now, some persons just get to know me, some people just get to follow me, some people are just getting to know what we are doing at the Smart Investors Lodge and not knowing we are coming from somewhere, without knowing we have a strategy, without knowing at the Smart Investors Lodge we have a blueprint we always use in the market. So, but then if this is your question, bull run started since 2024. What we are waiting for is all season. If this is some of the thing going through your mind, Actually, this person was actually making a statement, kind of, but then there have been so many questions I get as DMs, that are actually questions, but this one is a statement. And then, but then, regardless, if you have things like this in your mind, you're not alone. You're not alone. So many persons are going through confusion. Some persons are frustrated, saying, "Why is their portfolio not mourning? Why is my back not mourning? Why does Bitcoin keep going up but my portfolio is down?" So we're going to address a couple of things, you know, uh, and also, when will altcoin rally? We'll also look at when will alt wake up? Should you sell? But before then, there is something very important I think we should be able to address right here. So hang on. Let me show you something. Some few seconds, please. So I want to be able to share some other words of my screen right here with you. And let's do this. So I think this is another very interesting segment you should watch. And this is because I'm going to teach you how to use some certain tools. So, regardless of everything, we are still hosting today's class, despite network misbehaving. And I went, I'm not even where I used to be, but I decided today's meeting must hold. So, look at something. Look at Bitcoin chart. So, I want us to compare Bitcoin with other cryptocurrencies, and feel free. Let me know what crypto add as well. So the thing is, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been having a rally. There's a corrective phase, rally, corrective phase, and then rally. Higher highs and then lower lows. But then let's compare Bitcoin with other cryptocurrencies. First of all, let me see how we could compare some of their movement. So this is it. Let me teach you guys how to do this on TradingView. What you do is you come to this plus button you see right here top left. Once you click on it, you choose any crypto of your choice. So let's do something. Let's look for Ethereum. Ethereum, let's use new scale, so that we should be able to see how different it is, with other crypto. So look at Ethereum. But does Ethereum look kind of familiar with Bitcoins in terms of performance? Just look. Look at the same chart. You could use this also to check correlation. So you're trying to check correlation between Bitcoin and maybe asset at all in the world, you know. But I like using new pen. So it's simple. Let me do the process again. All you do is you come right here, you click on you see the compare button, compare plus symbol, you click on it. You could type any one. Let's say XRP. Somebody said XRP before, right? I saw somebody saying something about XRP. So let's do XRP. We use new pan. Is there any other asset? Okay, let me use now. I want to see how I will not spend so much time here. Let's use new pen. So let's look at let's look at them. But then, since all of them are using line chart, let me make sure Bitcoin as well is in a. Oh, no, typically, I think this is okay. But does this chart look a little bit like they are correlated? Yeah, a little bit of correlation so far. You see, we had somewhat ranging phase drawdown, then we range rally. Do you see how it mimics a little bit of Bitcoin? But then you could agree that Bitcoin has more momentum here at the end, but other coins here do not have enough momentum. Just at this end, this is showing us, after when we call the beginning of a bear market, that was January, you know that led to some of this drawdown. You see, the market started recovering, but the thing is, if you look, Bitcoin still had Bitcoin had much more of a momentum for upward continuation. Right here we have Solana. Solana looks like it wants to take off, from setting drawdown right here. Let's look at some bigger time frame. There's something I want us to do, and I'll tell you why and how this is important. Let's look at the 1 week. Look at almost the entire chart since 2018. Look, this altcoin, they are relatively, but I don't think that is so important right now because at the end of the day, we are looking at the new season that we have. When you look from this level where we are right here, we're looking at from October. This is more like October. Let me see if we could push it down to December. I always want much of what we do to begin since December because that is a very, very important date for us. So there have also been a correlation relatively, but then if you notice right here, even though some assets went flat, XRP went flat right here, but Bitcoin was already on some upward continuation. Solana also continued. But the difference is you will always notice was a major takeoff. But the takeoff, there's always more momentum for BTC. And why BTC would have recovered, altcoins was lagging behind, relatively. So there is something I want us to see. First of all, is price. First of all, I want us to compare price, a little bit. But then, the most important information I want us to answer now, is it that Bitcoin keep moving but altcoins are not moving? If we say so, is that the truth? Or or is the question that alts are not moving with the same momentum that they should move? Once again, but now let's use same scale. Now we'll use same scale. What else should we add? XRP, same scale. Let's add ADA, same scale. Ethereum, let's do an Ethereum. I think it's so important. You can't leave Ethereum, out of the market and things you're trying to do. So let's look at this. Do you know what this does? When we are comparing assets in terms of profit returns. We are comparing assets in terms of profit returns. So wherever it covers, like right here, this chart, so from October 2022 to today, it depends the time frame you're comparing this. It will show you, it will compare automatically what performance these assets have done. So right here, let's turn BTC to line charts. So let's turn this one day. Okay, let's still use this anyway. So this is BTC, right? Yes, BTC. So since and why is this? And don't forget, it was December 2022 we called that the market had bottomed and we were buying. You understand? December 2022 we said the market has bottomed and we were buying. And then that young man said altcoin began he says the bull run began in 2024, which is last year. But if you have followed us and what we do at the Smart Investors Lodge, you will say the bull run began in 2023. 2023, after Bitcoin crossed 24K, we said, look, this is the beginning of a bull run. But we're listing. We're listing. And so don't compare your portfolio with mine. Don't you started buying just some months ago. You started buying just 2024. Don't compare that portfolio with that of mine that December 2022, that December 2020, say we are bottomed, I'm buying. And the whole of 2023, we're saying, look, this is the beginning of a bull market. If you are investing now, you're investing early. And so we are investing early. You get? But now let's answer some very, very pertinent question. One, the bull run did not begin in 2024. It began in 2023. I want you to hold the right narrative in your mind. Hold the right narrative in your mind. And I'm saying this because there's so many persons they don't understand that at the Smart Investors Lodge, we have our own investment templates and blueprints that we use. And then we have our analysts, the ones who follow smaller time frame and the ones doing the best, doing their best, me included, also to capture everything holistically in the market. So let's look at this. Let's look at this holistically. If you're wondering which belongs to this, you know how you know. So do you see the color? Do you see Solana has done over 1,141% return. Who remembers also here the Smart Investors Lodge when we called that crash for Solana, and we're saying it's going to get to, was it about $2 to $4 or thereabout? Who remembered? There was somebody who was arguing that Solana cannot crash to that extent. That Solana has a strong support of, was it $30? And I was like, look, it's okay if you have your own opinion, but I'm talking as an analyst. And of course, Solana crashed. So if you had, and then we said Solana had bottomed. So if you had bought at that level, when we said we're going in on Solana, you'd have made over 1,141%. And yet Bitcoin, I think this is for Bitcoin right here. I'm sure which is this here, right here. Okay, I'll confirm that. Don't worry. Let's do the pink. The pink XROP. XROP has done about this is 489% return. Probably not outperform. It did not outperform. What is it called? Bitcoin. So let's look at the next. Which one is this? This ADA. Okay, this is Bitcoin doing about 54%. Wow, from our entry over 534%. We have Ethereum. We have Ethereum. Ethereum underperforming. You know, we had nice. Ethereum has done 1,101%. Right here, I think this is ADA. I think ADA has given us a better return. Okay. However, I think don't forget ADA had a peak before it had that correction as well. ADA had a before it had that correction. So I understand, but what certain persons are saying, and that is why I went as far as doing this kind of correlative analysis, look at price, and then we try to look at in returns and in values. But then the question I know some persons try to ask when they say pumping, which somebody else no, but alt have been able to give me some. Oh, good lord, I don't know. Were you guys able to my screen properly? I don't like what happened. I was supposed to use a different overlay. I was supposed to use a different overlay. Please forgive me. This is supposed to be a different overlay. This won't happen next time. This is what was supposed to be. This is how you guys were supposed to view my chart. But don't worry, we're gonna get better. We're gonna get used to it. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get used to it. We'll get better. We'll get used to it. I'm trying to see how we could put some of what we do, right here. I'm also getting used to some of what I do right here. So we're gonna get better, all of us. What is saying? Please just when altcoin will start. You just want to know when altcoin will start. You're in the wrong place. Yeah, we don't do anymore. We teach. We give investment education. We give analysis, and even when we do analysis and then we give you prediction, we are not giving you abracadabra. Data we are looking at, and also we try to tell you why we think that this data is important. That is what we do. Just come and tell you this is when altcoin will start. And I go of what benefit is that. Understand what I see, why I see them. Pay attention to them. You get? Oh, I'm just seeing a maker talking about Gala. I'm just seeing a maker talking about Gala. Sorry about that. We're gonna do better next time. Learning also how to use the streaming platform. We'll see how in much more of what we'll do in certain times. I'll be able to move past some of the challenge. So I hope with that little point I've been able to prove to you once again the bull run started in 2023, not 2024. The bull run started in 2023, not 2024. And then you had opportunity to enter a couple of altcoins that would have given you some massive returns. But understand the question many persons mean by when alt season. There is how Bitcoin have always moved. What I want them to understand is the narrative have changed. So how has Bitcoin always moved? Bitcoin has always moved this way. Bitcoin pumps. This is the old narrative everybody is following. Bitcoin pumps. After Bitcoin pumps, Ethereum follow. After Ethereum follow, we now have major market cap asset like Bitcoin Gold. The next thing we have is Doge move. Once Doge move, every alt pump, even abandoned project people bought, pe- projects that developers created, put in the market, and they disappear. Years after, they pump. But this is how things used to work. And after Bitcoin has moved, Bitcoin used to give decent return. Bitcoin may do like, for example, 800%. And then you see alts, especially those smaller alts, those alt season we are really talking about. Some of them are doing as much as 10,000%, 40,000%. That's crazy. But what I want you to understand is that these are old narrative. This is how it used to be. That is how things used to be, but things are different now. But why are things different? One, the market has matured. Before now, when you go to coin market cap, I got into cryptocurrency when you get to coin market cap, you will see just about 1,400 tokens, just 1,400, which means after Bitcoin pumps, Ethereum moves, there is enough money to go through every coin that is available. We also had when I created my first cryptocurrency investment course, we had about 4,000 something tokens. It's there, the records are there for some of you who go through those courses. All we had was about 4,500 or thereabout tokens. And so, if we are in a bull run like this, liquidity can flow because people are looking for the next place they can make money within the tokens that are available. But right now, the market is matured. It's so matured that as I talk to you right now, I was seeing a statistic that says about 1 million token is created every week. So with the hundreds of millions of tokens available in the marketplace, do you think there is enough liquidity to pump the tokens you're holding? No, it's not. The market is matured now. What is the next thing? Institutional money prefers Bitcoin. You think MicroStrategy is interested in buying your whatever token you call it? This is because the larger the capital you have, the more you are looking for capital preservation, and decent return is okay for you. You understand? Decent return is okay. They prefer Bitcoin. Is that simple? The next thing is we have something called meme coin season. You guys are looking for alt season, but there's meme coin season. Somebody is saying something. So let me. Please discuss this on our Discord community law. Discuss that in Discord community, whatever. So we have something called meme coin season. And what led to meme? Don't forget, we did not have what was called meme coin season before. We had altcoin season. But what led to meme coin season? Well, we first of all, during the last bull market, they created so many meme coins that were trying to be the new Doge. But then once Pump.fun came, we had Tron reciprocating the same thing, and we had Binance and some other blockchain creating more like a memecoin launchpad. And then you see tokens were moaning in Pump.com, moaning also in that of Tron, moaning also in that of Binance. So you're waiting for all season, meme coins are moving. By the way, I'll talk about so many because some people are saying when all season. But then I showed you a coin that did and a solid coin, not even a shit coin, like a solid coin with value doing over 1000% return. AIBB, I think AIBB did over 3000% for us. And also some other coins as well. Last year, I don't want to mention, but I could as we drive further. The next thing is that there is change of market dynamism, saturation. I think the saturation I talked about. The market has changed. Things don't move the way it moves. Don't forget the market. It's not a constant. The market is dynamic. This is why they always say past results, past performance do not guarantees future outcome. You understand? Market dynamism have changed. Narrative is changing as well. The next thing is ETF dynamic. ETF. Well, let me not dive deeper here. Let me see. I'm looking at time. Let me see how if I spend the same time I've spent here, I should be out, of this place. So we have ETF. We also have macroeconomic trend, inflation, interest rates. Are priced in these days in Bitcoin. It never was this way. And so, if we are having problems with inflation, if we're having challenges with interest rates, and people still want to buy BTC, you think they are going to buy your shitcoin? You think they are going to buy your little altcoin? What people will buy is BTC. Probably, I'm talking. But what I mean is that I'm trying to say where the macroeconomics holistically have changed certain narrative. So the market is not what you used to know it to be. The market is no longer what you used to know it to be. So let's look at. I'm not going to waste time here because I think I've been able to do a little touch on certain things. But let's look at why is Bitcoin pumping. One is spot ETF inflow. Do you know how sometime in the day there could be over 1 billion flow in ETF? Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't Bitcoin pump? Why wouldn't Bitcoin pump? Yes, I understand that with time we are going to see even XRP ETF stands over an 80% chance, of approval. We have Solana ETF. You may see Doge ETF. Who knows? You may see Doge ETF. But for now, Bitcoin is pumping because we are having, as at yesterday, there was over a 450 million US dollar inflow. The next is institution trust Bitcoin. Yes, these are times of uncertainty, but fortunately, institution trust Bitcoin. And of course, we also have where Bitcoin is more like a macroeconomic hedge. Who is this Christoph? Feel free to leave. You understand? Feel free to leave. What we're trying to do here is education. We are educating persons. We are educating persons. What we do here is education. We educate persons. We let them to understand narrative, and we're not doing abracadabra. We're teaching, and that's why even also in our chart analysis, what we do as well there is I don't just come and just do chart and bracadabra. I do my best to make an understanding and people understand what is going on. And so the question is, why is Bitcoin pumping? Why is Bitcoin pumping? And your odds are not pumping. So which then, so narrative has changed because of Bitcoin ETF inflation narrative. Institutions trust Bitcoin, and of course, it's being used as a hedge. So let's move into our next details, and I hope network allow my slideshow, which is what I'm trying to do right here. But if it doesn't, probably I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead also without the slide, like we're trying to do before. So there's something I was about to show you guys. Inflow. So let's do more like, let me show you something. I want to show you something right here. So hang on. Let me show you let me show you ETF inflow. I think this is important. So you understand how much comes into BTC. Like I said, I'm going to show you more like the data. I like using the block graph. The block. I think I always like their graph. So this was on the 22nd. On the 27th, over 939 million US dollar came in. That's close to like a billion. As at yesterday, 455 million US dollar came into BTC. This is to show you how much is moving. And so, if you're asking why is Bitcoin pumping? Of course, Bitcoin is pumping because of the reasons I have been able to show you right there. That's why Bitcoin is pumping. But then into our next details, right? Like I said, I'll do my best to go ahead, whether our slide opens or not. So the next thing is, what about altcoin? Will altcoin pump? What about altcoins? Will altcoin pump? Will altcoin pump? I really hope my slide showed. There are some things I was supposed to, would have loved you to see. However, but we're going to go ahead and we hope network catch up with us. Will altcoin pump? Will altcoin pump? The answer is yes. Altcoins are going to pump. But the thing is that altcoin have been pumping. I showed you when I did that comparative analysis. Altcoin have been pumping, but of course not as aggressive as they used to be, and we have been able why altcoins cannot pump as aggressive as they used to be. So of course altcoins are going to pump, but not all altcoins. First of all, altcoins will pump, but not all altcoins are going to pump. Not all, because there's something called more like selective all season and then a full blown all season. Selective all season. So what we've been seeing, what we've been experiencing in the market is called selective all season. So selective all season, it's more like a niche based simple version. You tell us we have somebody's asking me a question. He's asking me, yes, we have actually a full analysis on XRP. We have a full analysis on XRP that contains entry, it contains take profit level at the same time. It contains take profit level, and also when XRP bull season is going to come, when XRP bull season will start. But then I think what we are saying here is very important. Probably we're going to take questions at the end of the day. For now, please let's focus and learn. I want you to understand what's happening in the market. I want you to have knowledge. What we push here majorly is knowledge. So there's something called selective all season, and there's something else called full blown all season. So what we've been seeing in the market all this while is what selective all season. So selective all season is where only some selected all when the market may not necessarily be pumping. So another name for this is more like a niche based all season. So an example of a niche based all season is we are in this phase of the market, but while we are in this phase of the market, you see meme coins were pumping. We're in a part of the market where every token is not pumping, but yet you notice that AI tokens are pumping. We are in the time of the market where not every token is pumping, but you notice L layer 2 tokens are pumping. So that is what is known as a selective alt season. Why a full is a kind of alt season that moves, where almost a token always moves as a selective alt season. But then rotation, liquidity, and market cycle. So market means like right now we are in a bull market. Here in the Smart Investors Lodge, we only invest during bull market we sell. You know, bull market, everybody is coming to buy. But this time of the market, the only reason we are buying is when we are looking at rebalancing our investment portfolio. And when we are doing that, we invest at technical level. We give you entry, we give you take profit level. We also try to tell you where market will begin for each of those tokens you are invested in. So the next question, I think very important question, you all. It's really a pity my chart can't. There are lots of things I wanted you to see in my slide. Oh, say there is no God. Who say there is no God? I think find out something opening. And please, at the end of this, so we're able to talk about the selective all season, which is like a niche based all season, and then a full blown all season. What that means. So the next question I think is very, very important. And see, this is why you guys should understand knowledge is the cornerstone for your profit. Knowledge is the cornerstone for your profit. Informed. The question is, will we see a full blown all season? The quick answer is yes, but only if Bitcoin dominance peak. You know, Bitcoin dominance reach a certain level, and we want Bitcoin dominance to go as much as 55 to 60%. As a matter of fact, if it get to 70%, 75, which I think will be difficult, is great for altcoin because there is something called liquidity rotation. This means that the more Bitcoin absorbs liquidity and liquidity want to rotate, altcoins will. If we have massive retail participation, if retail investors massively go into the market, we can see an all season. The next thing, if the moment Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin, typically for us to always have an amazing all season, that all season that I know that we all always love, we always want Bitcoin dominance to go to a very high, gets to a high note, it moves into Ethereum. And Ethereum, even in regards to price performance, if outperform BTC. So now, from absorbing liquidity, it now rotates into altcoins. That's how it works. And a full blown all season will be if we have a stable macroeconomics. Donald Trump stop fighting this his war, the kind of war he's fighting, and we have a more stable regulatory environment, and then we have a narrative that drives hype. We have a narrative that drives hype. We want these things to be in place, for us to expect, a full-blown all season. However, this is not a guarantee that you will see all season. I'm telling you that you will see full-blown all season because this circle is more institutionally driven. Institutions are mostly betting on Bitcoin and Ethereum and then some other tokens. Altcoins don't deliver strong fundamentals if the protocols you're investing in is not providing real space and the market is absorbing the solutions it brings, forget it. OT law, your money is not, But what I mean is, if not delivering strong fundamentals and there's adoption taking place, the likelihood that your asset is going to moon, it's not there. So pay attention, and this is why I mean narrative and dynamism has changed. Lots of things are changing in the market. But then let's look at when my altcoin pump. When my altcoin pump, one, you need. I don't want to do more shots because I want to see how we should not spend more than an hour. Yeah, we've not spent an hour yet. If I go to Bitcoin dominance chart, we may spend more time. But if you want to know when altcoins will pump, there are two things. I forgot to add something else. One, BTC dominance charts. Once Bitcoin is already reaching its like technical level at the resistance level of that dominance chart, you could expect that there will be a spillover. And as I talk to you, I think that spillover is about to begin. Bitcoin is already at a particular, the dominance chart, Bitcoin is already approaching its resistant level, it's at its resistant level. So I think a spillover, it's about to begin. And once that begins, what we call that liquidity rotation starts taking place. And of course, other factors that will play in will be regulation and macro narrative. Regulations, macroeconomics, and then narrative. But then I think a lot of selective altcoin. For now, I can tell you that I don't see any certainty for us to have a full blown all season. There is no certainty that we're going to see a full blown all season. But I think that we are continually going to see a selective all season. And that's why you just can't buy anything. And even when you're buying solid assets that have utility, you have to look for good technical entries. You need to look for good profit level, which typically I always like us to do is them take profit level. We also look at mid-term take profit level, and as well we assess more like the bull phase. When has bull run begun in this particular asset? Follow some of our analysis, at the premium channel. That's what we always do. So we're looking for altcoins with real world adoptions, utility, and also we look for technical entries, uh level, take profit level when the bull phase would have begun. Like who saw the free investment analysis I did on Facebook? I think that was yesterday. You get it contains entry, short term, mid term, and then bull phase. Bull phase means this is when this asset enters its bull run. And I projecting, I think you just have some few months for entry level. We just have some few months. I think at the end of this summer, October, November, December, most assets are going to begin entering into their bull phase. And so we just have some very few months, just some few months for some assets to still have a good technical entry level. If somebody asks me, so when will it begin? I don't know. Have I been able to answer? Projection when I think that the mem season will start. I don't know. Someone kept asking me, when will it begin? When will it begin? Have I been able to answer that? But then you need to understand why I think that of this summer, October, November, why. But then this does not mean all of your altcoins will pump. No, what we will experience will be known as selective alt season. What we'll experience will be a selective alt season. And I have not negated the fact that yes, we may be able to see a full blown all season. Told you what needs to happen for us to see a full blown all season. And yet, if all of that happens, there is still no guarantee. The market is way more saturated right now. So let's look more into the strategy I use and that which we also use at the Smart Investors Lodge community. First of all, I want you to know that at the Smart Investors Lodge, we started buying Bitcoin at 16, 17K when we said the market had bottomed. We added more into our portfolio at $24,000 more assets into our portfolio. And who remembers since November last year, for every week until the end of January, I kept telling you I have started selling. The question is, why did I start to sell? Because I got in early. Some of my altcoins have done up to percent, some did 2,000%, some did 3,000%. And so I was taking profits into BTC. Recently, I'm selling much of my XRP. Of course, I think that XRP is still going to do massively well. Like we have not peaked, but I started selling more into Ethereum. So personally, my portfolio presently is about 40% BTC, and then 25% into major altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and then 20% into layer 2 infrastructure, Yes, Oracle and also AI. These are where I distributed my, and of course 10% to gem coins, while 5% into mem and experiment. Last year I experimented in some memes. One did about 1,500%. No, I think 1,400%. Some of you know that, and it has not recovered. We did another that did over 3,000%. The Cop Dow did a general of over 3,000 percent return. No, over 5,000%. But when we were buying it then together, I think it did for. So there is always room for your experiment. Like I've always said, yes, memes are risky, experimental plays are risky, but only invest in them using something an amount of money you could pay for a comedy show. Because of course, mem always comes with either you're going to lose probably that position, or you're going to gain massive returns. And I think that the kind of returns they give, it's not a smart thing, to completely avoid them. So I always money, of course, that I can afford to throw around to experiment in mem. So this is our strategy we're using. But then I'm hoping network has not gotten me out of what we're doing. But then, what are we doing? What are we doing right now as a community? What are we right now as a community? Because there's something called conviction zone and rebalancing. Don't forget, at the end of January, when we said that Bitcoin was already that was January. We said we are expecting Bitcoin to have a drawdown. Yes, the drawdown happened, and the next thing we're expecting is a continuation of the bull run for BTC. And at 74K, we said the market has bottomed, and we're expecting a continuation. What we did at that time was we moved our money into USDT. I announced it in the premium channel that we're moving our money into BTC. Also, for those of you who are part of, I think Team 25? Team 25 said the same thing. We are moving our money into USDT. The thing is, we are back into the market. We're back into the market, but we are only entering. We are buying more, of course, but then we are trimming our take profit level. So the assets that we're buying, they come with entry. They come to be sure. I want to be sure I'm still here and network has not kicked me out. Yes, so we are actually buying more at the Smart Investors Lodge. We are buying more, and of course, we are trimming our profits and also preparing our entry zones as well as our take profit target. And of course, you too should, whether it's or you are using our free channel and free trading signals, you should understand what we are doing. You know, the Smart Investors Lodge is a freemium community, so we give value, we give education, we give research, we give analysis. So, of course, smart investors are calm, they are strategic, they are focused. You see, focus planning, but you could only have focus planning when you have the relevant data. And of course, not panic, and also long vision. One thing I want you to know is N will inform investing big. Gambling ends where informed investing begins. Some of you would have been real plans without real positions. But then there's Nation of Investing by Benjamin Graham I always love and I always like to quote. So Benjamin Graham defined investing as an operation upon thorough analysis promise one of capital. So first of all, let's take that again. Benjamin Graham says investing is an operation that upon Thorough analysis, one, promises you capital, satisfactory return. So investing starts with analysis. The next thing is that you're protecting your capital. Three is that you have satisfactory return. So the right information inform investing ends gambling. But gamblers get into the market and just hope mini money more. Investing starts with being informed, and that is why we do what we do right here at the Smart Investors Lodge. And and so before further ado, over to you guys. If you are yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the Smart Investors Lodge YouTube channel. Do well, subscribe to the Smart Investors Lodge YouTube channel. Join us on Discord. Join us on Discord. If you want to buy for this bull run, you're looking for entry levels, you're looking for exit levels, feel free to join the premium. I don't know. Can I still be ahead? If you're with me, someone say hello to me. Say hello to me. Say hello to me. So, like I was saying, do well, subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and prepare your questions. I'm gonna because the next thing we're gonna have is an AMA. So subscribe to this channel. Join us on Discord channel if you're yet to do so. If you want to know what we're buying for this bull run, if you're also a trader and you want futures trade or sports trade, join the Smart Investors Lodge Premium channel. What you will gain once you get to the channel is you will see what we are buying. If you have special tokens that you want us to do analysis on, feel free, feel free to feel free to ask your questions. Okay, I'm going to do something. For those of you who are here, I'm going to say I will do some of you a favor. So, like I was saying, if you're interested in spot and futures trading signals, do well, join the premium channel. If you're interested as well in knowing what we're buying, or you have an asset you want us to analyze and give you entries level, do well to let us know. And also, for those of you who are interested in learning complimentary course for you, a beginner's guide to crypto, also a course on crypto investing, and also how to trade the cryptocurrency market. So so this is time for questions. I am going to take 5 questions or probably more before we call it a day. Okay, someone is telling me would like to know about A116Z. So, at the time of me speaking with you, I don't have any up to date data on this token, even though I know about this token, but I don't have any up to date analysis. So, this is what I'm going to do for you. What I'm going to do for you is that I will include this token. I'm going to include this token into an asset, do an analysis. I will do more of an investment analysis. If the token is still solid, I will make it vetted for value, and if it's vetted for value, I'll go ahead provide you why I think fundamentally the token have absorbed value and it's a good investment. And also, I will do some technical entry levels for the token for you, and also take profit level and when we think that the bull run would have begun. Is that fair enough? If it sounds fair enough, give me thumbs up, and then feel free, guys, give me some thumbs up, give me some thumbs up, give me some thumbs up, react, let me know. Fair enough, fair enough, let me know. And what else? What was the next question? Hang on. I'm overlaying. So I'll answer your question. Network is having the best of me. What I will do is, if you could still hear me, I think our conversation, this will bring us to the end of our conversation. But then I will still do well to come to the comment section and respond question. And for the person I promised that I was going to do an analysis on that token, of course I will. I will so do well to follow me on Facebook if you're yet to do so. Also follow us on our Discord community. Once again, of course, despite me being on the and I still had to. Regardless, it's really a pleasure. See you. Some analysis and training session time.